on for it with the Scourges. I think he would have been able to do that, but Calm avoided it, and now Flash is probably going to take down that 12 o'clock Expo while holding his own at the 6 o'clock position. I feel, no, he's not! Those Marines cannot get up there. A line of 4 Lurkers devastates those Marines. Now the Ultralists come in from behind, but they need the Lungs for support. They need the Cracklings to help in to deal the damage. One Ultralist is going to be sacrificed from poor control by Calm. He left that Ultralist there. Meanwhile, Calm has got more units are in the middle, and this is not very efficient. I mean, he is killing these Marines here with those 2 Ultralists, but without any Zerglings to support those Ultralists, they're not as efficient dealing damage. Now Flash is in huge trouble here. He's going to lose all of his Science Vessel fleet, most of it anyway. I think only 1 Science Vessel once again escaped, while the rest of Calm's forces clean up Flash's army, and now Flash is in a lot of trouble, folks, because most of his army has been cleaned out. He no longer is going to be able to roam that map, and now he's been forced into a defensive posture. So Calm, slowly but surely, is turning the tide and ratcheting up the pressure on his opponent right now, and Flash is in trouble here, folks. Flash, he could be going a game down here, and that's not, I'm sure, part of his plan. I'm sure that wasn't what he anticipated, and Calm just trying to close in. That's one of the difficulties that Zerg players do have, being aggressive against a Terran player. This is why it's so difficult to defeat a late-game Terran, because of the difficulty of getting those Defilers in range of the opponent's defenses, and that can be a difficult position for the Zerg to be in. But Flash has lost a lot of Science Vessels. He's lost his entire army in the middle, and now he's very much on the defensive, and he just needs to hold and somehow try and get that natural expo and make sure he doesn't get locked out of getting any more resources. Calm, bringing a large army in those Overlords, is anticipating exactly that. He's going to see that command center. Flash is going to see it as well. He's going to pull those Marines back. Calm coming in with a drop, and Calm is going to retreat with those Overlords. He's going to get one of those Overlords sniped, I feel. One of the Overlords goes down. The second Overlord coming in for a little bit of fire, but he's probably going to just about escape. The Science Vessels are going to come in, try and get an Irradiate off, but they're going to pull back. Meanwhile, a bunch of Zerglings streaming down the middle of the map towards Flash's Expo at the 6 o'clock position. Flash had pulled those Marines away, which has allowed those Zerglings up the ranks, so Flash doesn't have those Marines bunched up, but he's still going to get them back in time to do enough damage. And I feel Calm is throwing a few Zerglings away that he doesn't need to be, I feel. I wonder if he's just doing that, I guess, to just try and keep Flash off balance, keep him under pressure, not let him to coalesce his forces, and not let him to kind of really gather his wits about them. But at the same time, is it really worth the amount of Zerglings he's throwing? Again, he just lost almost 2 full control group of Zerglings there, which could have supported Ultralists. I don't see the advantage he gained from that. Now Flash getting a bunch of Irradiates off on a lot of Calm's Ultralisks. Calm, meanwhile, now also trying to take that Expo at the 9 o'clock position, and Flash really needs to do something about this, and Calm once again continue to kill those Science Vessels as he needs to do. Flash with, again, just the 1 Science Vessel remaining, so this is the 3rd time, I believe, that Calm has decimated, sorry guys, decimated Flash's Science Vessel fleet, completely annihilated it, and I really think Flash is going to struggle heavily to get back in this game. Now, he does have that tank barrage set up, and if Ultralists run into that, they will get destroyed, which is precisely the purpose of that. And Calm is being clever. He's got that Mutalist out as well, just to snipe those low-health Science Vessels, and he should be careful. He needs to pull that Mutalist back, make sure he doesn't lose it. Meanwhile, Flash is going to try and get in and take out that Expo, and he probably should be able to take that Expo down at that 9 o'clock position, prevent Calm from getting that down at least. But Calm, I feel, in a very strong position. Flash, meanwhile, has rebuilt his Science Vessel fleet, and he has managed to build up a sizable tank fleet, and Calm has to be careful here, because at some point Flash is going to unsiege everything and move out, and we've seen that happen before, where we thought a player was ahead. I can't remember which 2 players it was, but we thought a player was ahead, but the Terran player unsieged everything, moved out of the middle, and crushed his opponent. So Calm has to be careful about that. Flash using all the tricks at his disposal, using the Science Vessels to irradiate themselves to force Calm's drones away from that 3 o'clock base. Calm has to be careful. He must keep a large enough force to combat Flash's force, and he's going to need some Lurkers potentially as well. Right now he's pumping all of his gas into those Ultralisks, and he just has to be careful, because Flash is going to make one big move here. He's just holding back and mustering his forces, and he's going to make one big move with those siege tanks. What Calm doesn't want to do is move into those siege tanks and die, and have all of his army die before he can inflict any real damage, because then he won't have a chance to rebuild, because Flash will just roll over him after that. And I think Calm is aware of that. So Flash is not out of this game anywhere right now, folks, but you would have to give the advantage to Calm. Calm again getting another decent Irradiate off, and Calm looks like he's going again for the aggression here, and he's got to be careful here, trying to close in within range of the siege tanks. He pulls back, and I think it was a clever move to pull back there with his Ultralists. Managed to get a few Zerglings in there, though. I'm not sure that was clever. He lost some of those Zerglings as well, but he pulled back just in time. But this game is by no means over. Calm realizes that he's up for a tough fight here, trying to reestablish that expansion at that 9 o'clock base. Flash should be able to take that down with this group of Medic and Marines. Once again, force that cancel. Calm now sending a large group of Ultras there to clear that expansion up, and really I don't think Flash is in a position to bring his siege tanks into play to be able to take that expansion. Flash just trying to focus that expansion and do as much damage as he can before he loses his Medic and Marine force, but he is going to lose that Medic and Marine force, and Calm is going to secure that expansion as well. Flash can't let this go on for much longer. Calm is being clever here. He's not taking Flash's bait. He almost did, but he's not, and he's getting those Lurkers out as well, which I said are critical for him to have. He needs to have some of those Lurkers. and he needs to obviously keep his defilers alive. He needs to keep putting down the Science Vessel. He's going to have to play a game of attrition here. He cannot push forward and try and break Flash's back, because what will happen is he will bleed Ultralisk, and then Flash will unsiege everything and lay waste to the land. Now Flash coming in with, again, a Science Vessel fleet. He's got about, again, 6 to 8 Science Vessels there, and Calm needs to keep pumping those Scourges and keep taking those Science Vessels down. Once again, with the Ultralisk coming across the middle of the map, this is a very dangerous play by Calm. He doesn't want to be doing this. He's got a bunch of Zerglings coming in behind. Flash is able to get those Marines in play, and Calm once again thwarted, once again pushed back by Flash, and now coming in with the Scourges, they're going to run, and he pulls them back as well. So Calm, he's testing Flash's defenses, but he hasn't really committed himself as of yet. He's lost a couple of units here or there. Flash has been able to use that opportunity to take that hatchery down yet again. That was careless by Calm. He should have secured it a little better, rather than try and test Flash's defenses at his natural expo. I mean, what does he possibly have to gain by breaking Flash's natural expo? Flash has got no resources left there. He has an army, which obviously Calm wants to kill, but Calm has to be aware of his own position in the game as well, and realize that he doesn't want to fight Flash while he has all his tanks siege. He wants to catch Flash with his tanks, unsiege as many of them as possible in the middle of the map, and prevent Flash from securing any more expansions. That's what he wants to do. But of course, Flash is going to try and move up the map gradually and eat up resources as he goes along. But remember, Calm, with control of the map right now, Calm is mining most of the expansions on the map, and he does have at least 2 bases up on Flash, I feel. And it's just going to be a question of, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, he's got 1 base up on Flash. So both players with these massive armies that are going to clash at some point, and I feel it's going to be down to Flash when these armies clash. Flash, in that sense at least, has the initiative of when to initiate combat, when to initiate that big final battle. Now Flash putting down a bunch of turrets all over the place, I guess in anticipation of use of Guardians by Calm, while trying to use his Science Vessel fleet to reduce Calm's army of Ultralisks and Zerglings. And now it looks like Calm is going to make a push, and he's actually making a push for that expansion at the bottom right hand corner of the map, where most of Flash's forces are, and Flash using those turrets quite effectively as a block, and Calm is forced to pull back. Now turning around, and he's just being silly here, Calm. He first went for the bottom right-hand corner. Now he's turned around and brought all of his forces in to the bottom left, but it looks like he might just have enough. He's managed to get the Defilers in range and get a swarm up, but Flash has got a lot of depth here, and if Calm loses his entire army, Flash is going to wipe the floor with him, and I'm not sure that Calm has enough here to finish Flash off. His Ultralists are still going strong. This is the last bastion, and now Calm is forced to pull back, and he took a lot of damage, and I feel that actually he might have thrown the game away with that maneuver. He's managed to open up a path into that 6 o'clock expo, but Flash is simply going to lift up that command center, and Calm seems to be content to let Flash lift up the command center.